If someone were to ask you if slavery still exists today, you would probably respond no with little hesitation. Slavery ended with the Emancipation Proclamation many years ago. However, this is not the case. There is a modern form of slavery called human trafficking that exists today. I hope that after this speech, you understand more about human trafficking as well as how we can work to prevent it. According to the Funk and Mangal's Encyclopedia, human trafficking is the recruitment of people for commercial or sexual exploitation or forced labor with no pay. We might wonder how something like this can go on, as it is very illegal. The first thing is that it happens through very secret networks, and so it's hard to combat because we don't exactly know how it happens or how these people recruit them. But one thing we do know is that technology plays a very big role. So these individuals can get into phones to help track through GPSs and things like that to get individuals and to track them down. Obviously, people are not getting taken at their own will, so there are things like threat, force, and violence that they use to take these individuals and keep them. And it's hard for them to escape because they're under such high pressure and threat that they have to do to work or perform these sexual deeds. Minorities are more prevalent to this human trafficking as they are more vulnerable, as we see with many things in society. And so these minorities include ethnicities, racial groups, and religious affiliations. These victims are kept in a bondage through physical and psychological abuse. So they are under such high abuse that they can't get away, and if they do, they are definitely going to have some post-traumatic stress syndrome and not be able to go back to their normal lives. And that information is based on the Human Trafficking 2016 article. Human trafficking is something that a lot of people think happens overseas or in other countries. However, it certainly does happen in the United States. According to the International Labor Organization, they estimate that approximately 20.9 million individuals go through human trafficking globally. Some of these countries include Albania, Bulgaria, Thailand, and the United States. The Polaris Project, which devotes much of their research to human trafficking as well as prevention, estimates that 26% of these individuals are children and 55% are women and girls. Next, I will show you an example. In my visual aid, as you can see in this graph of the United States, it shows areas in which human trafficking takes place. And it might be a surprise to see such high red areas and zones in the United States, as many people do not think that it is that prevalent in the U.S. According to Ron Smith's article, human trafficking exists in nearly all 50 states of the United States, as we just saw in the image. Approximately 17,000 individuals are smuggled into the United States to serve under their will. Human trafficking is one of the fastest growing criminal enterprises. It is only second to gun and drug use. So this is something that is growing, however, people don't really know about it and they're not educated, and so we need to take action in order to stop it. So next I will talk about prevention. According to the Combating Human Trafficking organization, they say there are some things that we should look for in order to help prevent it. A few signs include if someone is unable to come and go as they please, so they're not really able to have their own schedule and you notice something like that and it seems a little bit odd. Other signs include they are not paid or they're paid very poorly. They work excessive hours, which seems very unnormal, or their place of work or home is under high security, which includes boarded up or things like that, so you can't really tell what is going on in the inside. Physical signs that you might notice may be malnourishment, or if they're unable to give clear answers about where they've been or what they've been doing. Another thing that we should work on to help prevention is just general education. And clearly we cannot cover everything about human trafficking in just such a small period of time, but hopefully now that you understand more about what it is, this taking of people against their will to do work or sexual activities for money or things like that, you will get the curiosity to learn more about it and educate it, because it's the only way that we are going to work to stop it. And there are many organizations out there that are looking for support, whether it's for monetary donations to help their organizations work to prevent it, or even shelters that house women and girls that have been through this and victims and are going through this post-traumatic stress syndrome that are looking for volunteers to help run their organizations. So in conclusion, human trafficking is the taking of individuals against their will in which they are under severe stress as well as threats and violence. And it is such a high profitable thing because they are getting so much out of it, yet they're not having to pay these individuals anything. And it exists all over the world, but one thing that I really want to stress is that it is in the United States and nearly in every state that a lot of people don't know about. So I think it's important that we work on getting educated as well as just knowing more about it so we can help prevent it. Thank you.